What do people do that screams I think I'm more important than everyone else? Get up quickly upon plane landing to jump in front of their fellow passengers for the most inconsequential potential gain. I dunno, those extra 2.5 seconds might be super precious. What would they ever do to recover them? Walk slightly faster through the terminal? Word. I occasionally do this if my flight has been delayed and I will have to sprint across the airport to make my next flight. I usually clear it with the people sitting around me so that they know why I'm doing it. In general, people are understanding if I explain it, but I once had a guy yell at me and tell me that the order in which we sit the only order in which we are allowed to disembark the plane. This and when those people refuse to let people who don't have any luggage in the overhead bin go ahead of them. I read that during evacuation some people literally stop to grab luggage out of the overhead bin. This is why I almost exclusively sit in exit rows. Don't talk to and show respect to the janitors at a job. They act as if they are so better or more important that they don't say a simple thank you when they take your trash, etc. I work at a place that has people that come every day to clean and change our trash cans in our office. I appreciate them so much and always joke with them. I always tell them thank you and ask if they want a snack, etc. I remember one of the people I work with complaining. She said that if I don't catch them and tell them to mop my office, they don't do it. This lady don't speak to them when they walk in and act as if they are not there. I didn't have the heart to tell her that they always mop my room and make it smell extra good in my office for me, even when I'm not there. Show people respect, no matter the job title. Drive on the shoulder during traffic. Can confirm, was that guy 15 years ago. This is exactly what I was thinking. Well, that, and we. Maybe this is horrible of me, because I don't know everyone's situation, but when I'm stuck in traffic and I see someone doing that, I'll angle my car just enough, so that I'm in the shoulder and they can't get around me and everyone else. Please don't do that. I drove on the side lane when having asthma attacks. You never know why someone needs to go that far. I too have to drive on the shoulder for asthma attacks. It's a specific condition and where you have to keep driving instead of stopping. Very rare. And it only ever happens during a traffic jam. I feel ya. Playing their music from their speakers on public transport. I swear, so many of those people are so aggressive and are just looking for a fight. They seem to get even more angry when people ignore them. I just don't get it. Glad those days are behind me. Because they're doing it for attention, and if they don't get that attention, that means they'll throw a tantrum. It's like an adult toddler. Luckily for me, I'm always wearing my massive noise-cancelling headphones on the bus and blasting music into my own ears, so if someone is playing music on speaker I won't even hear it. Just start playing your fart barks at full blast. Be sure to bring an extra pair with you just in case you go too hard. Taking 10 minutes to order food after waiting in line and having ample time to prepare. I hate that most drive-through restaurants don't have a menu you can see until it's your turn to order. Why is this a thing everywhere I ever go? I spend 20 minutes in line with my family staring at the side of a sign. Especially when it's a place we are not familiar with. Now we are the person in line spending 20 minutes to order, even though we had time. Sends my anxiety through the roof. Use your phones to look up the menu. I know someone like this. They are also the first to complain that the line is taking too long. And then hunt for her wallet in a gigantic purse. Take more than one parking space. Saw a Tesla once that took up 4 parking spaces. Was he parked sideways or something? It was that new Tesla short bus. It's even worse if it's handicapped ones and they don't have tags. Some vehicles legitimately can't fit into one space or can't turn out of one space if someone takes the 2 on the sides. I think it's okay for these people as long as they park in a far away part of the lot that isn't in such demand. I drive a 20-foot cargo van converted into a camper, so more like 23 to 24 feet. Most spaces are too small. When they say aren't I right? I say this as a joke. When I talk about stuff I know nothing about, aren't I right guys? Then they'll say, no PM_me_yo_yams_girl, you're wrong and you're dumb. I say am I right? a lot, but not because I think I'm right all the time. I say it so if I'm wrong, it will give people around me a chance to speak up and say so. Maybe am I wrong? Would communicate that better. I use that as well, along with keep me honest here. P. I have a friend who always says that aggressively when he is right. Just as a joke though. Language using I, me. Look at our choosing beggars, you can tell. Dr 99% of them as people self-involved with their own wants and incapable of recognizing someone else's needs. It's hard enough having a speech impediment without people like you calling people selfish for stuttering. Shame on you. I don't think they're referring to a speech impediment only, I mean language as in putting their wants over other people's needs. Language using I, me. I can confirm, I'm that guy. Seeing very clearly that a lane is ending or merging on a multi-lane road, whether due to construction or not with heavy traffic, and using that lane to speed around and get in front of as many people as possible. If you see the sign to move over, just move over. It's always pretty obvious when someone just didn't see the lane was ending. Obviously these people don't annoy me, as opposed to when someone knows it's ending and uses it to try and cut in front as much as possible. I love it when people actually join together and don't let that person cut in. Waiting at a red light and honking the split effing second the light turns green. I have a friend who would literally slam on the brakes at the light, shift to park, and light a cigarette with his windows open if somebody did that to him. Was his passenger once. The idiot who honked at him came up to the side of my friend's car and started shouting BS as he was casually smoking his cigarette while completely ignoring the guy. Just before the light turned red, my friend drove off with the guy standing in the middle of the road, taking up tons of space in public places. If you are on a crowded bus, there is always the one woman or man who has their handbag or backpack taking up an extra seat. Also, on this note, obese people on airplanes who cannot fit into the seat and refuse to buy another seat book an entire row. Some of them believe they are entitled to your space too. Bring up their faith or ask you about what church you go to, etc. I'm not saying I disagree with, there is way too much proselytizing, but shouldn't asking about someone else's faith be showing interest in them? I mean, someone's faith is part of how they view the world, and a good way to get to know someone. I have an annoying friend that is trying to become the next IG, Snapchat, FB whatever, and we always have to stop and take a photo, Snapchat, or a feed to FB, no matter what we are doing. So many times I have had to stop chewing my food midway or stop and pose by something so she could take a pic. People who walk and talk with someone side by side in a small aisle slowly when you are trying to walk normal speed back to your office. Some people would call those individuals unaware. I think it screams I only think about myself and the moment, which is a form of being more important than everyone else. Everyone knows the meme, but genuinely asking for the manager over something insignificant. Like, I get that you are frustrated with something, but lashing out at the employees by trying to get them fired is just petty and quite frankly more upsetting than anything that kind of person would be willing to report. When they keep on interrupting someone else. This was at the mall today with my daughter. She was trying to get a fitting room and the only worker in the store was coming to unlock one, while walking over another woman who knew what he was doing and that it would only take a second, interrupted to ask a question. My child has go 10 goody grams ades. He deserves yo 3 emilio and dollar lambo exclamation point 1 exclamation point 1 exclamation point 1 exclamation point. Taking their time at checkout, or taking their time to turn into a place of business that's off a busy road. Also dealt with a person driving on the wrong side of the road yesterday in a neighborhood because she had her visor down, trying to use her garage door opener to open her door. Not tip, or tip very badly. I know a person who would tip like $0.33 or something like that to round up to the next value. I told him waiters don't get compensated with cents. Still ignores to this day. Anything involving a phone tablet at full blast in public without headphones, watching the sports game, listening to music, playing games, FaceTiming, etc. are things you care about and no one else around you needs to hear. Waiting until the last possible second to merge out of a lane that said it was closed and to merge a mile back. Hey yeah, and now he thinks he's gonna cut in front of me. Good luck. When you pass each other when in close quarters, and don't adjust your posture slightly to make room for the other, or say excuse me, or do the little which side do I pass you, oh excuse me dance. Put loud pipes on their motorcycles. Motorcyclists in general are garbage human beings. Has there ever been a more look at me group of people zooming up beside you when you're trying to merge from the off-ramp? Especially considering most subs have a gigantic blind spot exactly where you're trying to be for no reason. Go visit their adult daughter recovering in the hospital from ruptured disc surgery, and when the nurse comes in with pillows for the patient, say, "Give me one of those, will you?" Use the turn right lane to go straight on. I guess that would be turn left lane in the US, because those slowpokes queuing in the correct lane clearly aren't going fast enough. Always being late. They think their time is more valuable than yours, and that it's only natural for you to wait for them every time. Upon seeing congestion, drivers exiting the highway, speeding along the frontage road, then taking the next on-ramp. Waste literally half of class just to try and argue with a teacher because said teacher won't let them skip class. When everyone in the group wants to do activity A and this one guy always wants to do activity Z, literally always. Someone who will talk over interrupt you a lot. Particularly ones who'll get irritated or offended when you point it out. Complain about the long line at the store. We get it, Karen. There's a cashier on break. You'll live. Tell you that they're young and brag about listening to music from the 60s, 70s, or 80s. Restarting their sentence over and over and getting progressively louder until whoever was talking before stops.